Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. Today we're going to be looking at making a toasting fork. You can see this one here. It's a bit hard to pick up and it's so small. It's just made out of twisted wire, and what makes this one good is you don't actually have to spear your bread with the fork. I've always hated poking holes in my bread, and when you toast one side you got to turn it over and your bread's all crumbly. This one creates like a little pocket where you just slide your bread down in there, and that way you can toast it on one side, turn around, toast it on the other side, and you can hold it like that and it swivels around. The eyes go one each way here. It's fairly long. You can see it's, oh, I don't know, about about 700 to the end right up here, or 2 foot 3 inches if you like, but I'm just going to talk in millimeters. So yeah, it's about 700 mil long. This bit here is about 100 mil wide, and the dangly bit is about 140, 150, somewhere there. I've twisted the wire around and around and around. That makes the handle part fairly stiff. I've had this toasting fork probably 20 years. A couple of times it's got mangled up in the back of the car. Just bend it straight again, off you go. You can make it out of coat hanger wire or fencing wire. Don't go cutting it off the neighbour's fence though. Anything you've got lying around. I've got a bit of old wire here. It's a bit heavier. This is about 2 millimeters, and I think if it's lasted 20 years, it's probably heavy enough. I don't need to make it out of that. It'll be harder to bend, and yeah, not really required. I've got this tie wire here that I use just for fence repairs, that kind of stuff. I think it's zinc plated or something like that, or not even. It's not going to come off when I'm toasting. Not as though we're sticking it in the fire and heating it up to 1,000 degrees. So let's make an estimate of how much wire I'm going to need. Double that length plus whatever you take in the twist, and enough to make that fork on the end. About a metre. Let's try that there. So we'll just divide it in two, like that, straighten it out a bit. We'll leave enough wire on the end here just to make the first part of the fork up to the loop. About that much. We'll stick that much in the vise, like that, side by side. Then get a piece of broom handle here, and I'll just pop that in the end and twist it around and around. Top one's come out. That'll stiffen up the handle and it'll become a little bit shorter. Of course, the harder you make, or the stiffer your wire, the harder this bit's going to become. And if you keep a little bit of tension on it this way, it'll make the twists nice and even. We can speed you through this bit. bit long there. But you get the idea. We'll just twist that out to, bend it out to 90 degrees like that. And these parts here, it's not critical, but it's about, we'll say 40 mil either side. Come out there about 40, bend it straight out. Try and make it the same distance the other way. We got about 50, so we'll aim for 100 on the other one. Not enough. That's better. Now I can see I got one piece a bit longer on one than the other. Actually, if I make it too wide, a bit of bread might fall through, so I'll make it a little bit narrower. It's about the same now, but about 90. So I'll cut these off at the same length, allowing a little bit from a loop on the end. So they're about 100. So we'll cut it 100 and 120. The other side's already 120. 110. And the loops on this one face this way, so we make these both the same just by grabbing the end of the wire there. You can see that. We'll just make one that way. Tip it back a little bit. And one this way. So they're kind of even. We'll fix that up in a minute. Now we just need to make that piece. So we'll need another piece of wire. So I cut off about 620 or something like that for the end piece. The bread holder. Drop test. Gotta have one of them. It's starting to look a bit like that. We just need to neaten it up a bit. And these loops go the other way. They go towards the outside. Otherwise they won't be able to swivel on each other. Once I get the length the same, I'll cut it off. Nope. Then we can just stick one in there and one in there. and it'll dangle like that. I just need to close up the loops a bit so it can't fall off. There you go, that can't come out now either way. Give you a close-up look at that. So that dangles in there like that. So that is how you make a toasting fork without poking holes in your bread. Handle came out a bit longer than the other one, but that won't matter. Usually the fire's too hot and you want to be further back. So now that just leaves a test. I went and got a stunt piece of bread. And we'll just pop that in there. Maybe I could do with a little bit more clearance. That or my bread's too fresh. So that goes down there like that. So we haven't had to poke any holes in it. And we can do one side up against the fire, the other side up against the fire. And if we're doing if we've got hot coals and we want to toast on top of that, we can just fold it over that way and do it like this. And the other side will be like that. One trick is if you're sitting by the fire and you've got one of your mates sitting on the other side. Hello Yana, how did you know I got food? Here's our workshop dog. Bread, I'm there. Anyway. Yeah, so if you've got your mate sitting on the other side of the fire, he can watch your bread, you can watch his bread, and he'll tell you when to turn yours and you can tell him when to turn his, and it saves you looking all the time. Anyway, perhaps we'll give it a proper test when I can light a fire. For now, as this piece of stunt bread is probably past its prime, I'll go and give it to a horse. Who wants to come and watch that? Hello! Indy! Indy! Come, Indy! Come, Ella! Hello, Ella. How you going, big girl? That was a close-up. Good girl, good girl. How about I go and find Indy? Indy, where's your head? There's a good boy. One for Ella, I'll take my fingers. One for Indy. Good boy. That was a surprise, wasn't it? Indy's a piggy at the moment. Been rolling in the mud. But if that's what you want to do, go right ahead. Thanks for watching, guys. That'll probably do for this one. I'll just have the horses follow me home now. We'll see you on the next one. I can't really see you.